Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate Ironman. Last video was probably the most frustration and effort put into the progress of the account in one video. So if you missed that one, I would highly recommend checking at least that video out, so that way you can experience the struggle that I had to go through for Desert Treasure and RFD. And now that we have that massive goal of getting Barrow's gloves out of the way, I want to take a minute to talk about what's next. Especially because a big part of playing an Ultimate Ironman is planning stuff out. So the long-term goal of the account is the Quest Cape, as a lot of you know. Not the end goal, by the way, just the long-term goal. But the next medium-term goal that I want to work towards is doing Monkey Madness 2, which requires 69 Slayer, which means we have a bit of a Slayer grind coming up. I'm sure you all know how important transportation is for an ultimate by this point, but we haven't touched too much on the other important thing for ultimates, which is storage. And pretty much the main way to unlock methods of storing items as an ultimate is to train construction. So before we get into Slayer, I want to train construction up to level 76, and we're currently at level 71. I mean, of course, ideally, I'd like to get much higher than that, but the methods that we have unlocked at the moment aren't the best. But I will show you the things we'll unlock if we get 76 and show you why I chose 76. So starting off, I looked at the construction level up table and noted down the things that I think would be really important. And if we get level 76, we would be able to build all these things without boosting with the stew, because I don't believe in stew boosting. Let's start off with the first thing though, which would be the stash units. So ideally, I would really like to have the master stash units. If you look at some of the stuff in here, some of the stuff you can store is really important, like Arc Light. Most importantly though, this one right here in the Warriors Guild, the Slayer Helm, Dragon Defender, and Dragon Battle Axe. This is probably the most important stash unit for Slayer. Unfortunately, the requirement is level 88, and we could only boost to +3 with the Crystal Saw. We wouldn't be able to use the T because that only works in the house. So for the master stash units, we would need 85, but for the elites, if we get level 74, we can boost to build the elites, and obviously, if we're getting 76, we'll be able to build that. And probably one of the most important things for this one would be like the Rune Crossbow, or down over here, the Dragon Battle Axe, maybe save some money here and there. Nothing here is really too big. It's very small quality of life for ultimates, I'd say. Okay, you know what? I actually lied about 76. We'd actually need level 77 construction to build the altar, so maybe we'll go for 77. Because the Crystal Saw can only be used to build things that require a saw, and building a room does not require a saw. Even though the spellbook altars are only level 80, to build a room you also need level 80. So we'd only be able to use the T for that, which is +3, which means we need 77 to build that room. I'm not sure which one I would build though, if it'd actually be the ancient one, or maybe the lunar one might be better. But this is exactly why I'm trying to plan stuff out loud like this, so I can figure out, what I'm doing and make sure I'm doing everything right. Then we got the basic jewelry box, which again, we would need the achievement gallery. So again, we'd have to get 77, boost with the +3, and then we could easily boost for this, which is level 81. And this provides unlimited rings of dueling and unlimited games necklaces. So that would be extremely useful, because it's kind of annoying as an ultimate how far out of the way you have to go to make a single ring of dueling or a single games necklace. And, you only get the mini games teleports every 20 minutes. Right now we have the teak armor case, which allows you to store 4 sets of armor. But I'd rather just have the mahogany one so we could store all different types. And we're not struggling right now, but I would like to get a torso. I would like to get some more of these scaling outfits and not have to worry about juggling the different sets and stuff and dropping certain things. And then also at level 82 is the mounted dig site pendant, because I really want to start birdhouse runs. So the plan is going to be level 77 construction. So with all that in mind, let's get started on the grind from 71 to 77 construction. And first thing we have to do is get naked. Alright, I'm not sure if this is still accurate, but there's a video by Big Rove from just over a year ago that says this method is about 4.4 GP per XP. So we'll take out 3 mil for now and see how long that lasts us. I'm gonna go to the Magic Guild and buy some Law and Earth Runes now. I think if I did the math right, we'll be doing just over 500 trips, like maybe 500 to 550 trips. So there's all the runes for that. And now we die with everything. Okay, so we got this stuff back, and to get the rune axe, it was in the looting bag, so I'd have to reclaim everything, get a looting bag again, put the rune axe at the top of the inventory, and then suicide, do all this over again. So I'm just gonna buy rune axe. It's not worth the time. That's like 1 gargoyle kill or something, theoretically. And luckily, with Radha's Blessing, we can get pretty close to the Woodcutting Guild, where we can buy our axe, which I think is like 40k. Instead of wasting like 500 air runes doing this method, we'll just buy an air staff, and you could still chop the tree with the rune axe in the inventory. Next, we're going to pay 5k to have our house moved to Taverley. And I think that's it. We're going to teleport home and get started with this method. Something very important that's going to be handy based on which direction we're going, is going to be right-clicking the house to choose to teleport inside or outside the house, which you could also change here in the house options, but it doesn't really matter for this method because we'll be casting it both ways. And we'll grab our saw and our hammer right from here. Before we get started, something I want you to keep in mind is that this is really not a good method for training construction for Ultimate. It's expensive and it's slow. And the only upside, I guess, is that it's kind of AFK and it has really low requirements. I'm just doing it because I think it's what makes the most sense to do at this point in the account. I would like to work towards the Mauritania hard diary for the limestone method, which I'll eventually show when we're able to do that. But yeah, for now, we're stuck with this. Duh, forgot to grab my graceful. But yeah, so if we run down over here, we can take the balloon transport system over to the sawmill by Varrock. They added this log storage thing a little while back, which stores up to 100 of each log that you need. And for the route to the sawmill, we need 1 willow log per trip. So every like 50 to 100 trips, we could just restock this from the willow tree right over here, from any of these trees down over here. Before this log storage was added, you had to bring a willow log with you for every single trip that you made. And a lot of Ultimates would plant this willow tree right over here, which we also just so happen to have planted. But yeah, it's nice you can store them now and just use this right away. Okay, I'm just gonna top this up with some willow logs and we're gonna fly over to Varrock. And when you land, you pop up right over here. So we're gonna run over to the oak trees and chop an inventory. I think there is a way to like 2-tick these if you brought 2-tick things, but you know me, I'm definitely not gonna bother with that. And this is really where the AFK aspect of this method comes in because you just sit here for a minute chopping the trees. Okay, we got our full inventory, so we're gonna right click buy plank. Instead of right clicking and buying all, you can actually click this blue text right here, just left click it and makes them all into planks. Then from here, we're going to teleport home. Actually, you know what? When you teleport, I don't think there's a way to make it so that when you teleport in here, it's automatically in building mode. So what I'm going to do instead is switch the default teleport to outside, because I think it would take too much extra time to wait for that to switch to building mode every single trip. It's like an extra step, I think. So now the left click default is outside when you click teleport to house. And if you're on RuneLite, if you type in menu entry swapper and go into the settings, you can make the left click for when you enter your house build mode. So that way all we do, left click, teleport to house, left click the house, and go straight into building mode. I set up my kitchen to have the larder as close to the teleport portal as possible. So we're going to build 2 oak larders here. Unfortunately, we can't build a third one, so I think we'll have to build 2 oak tables instead, since each of the oak tables take 3 planks each. Now, if I had a rune pouch, I'd be able to store all 3 of these runes in the rune pouch, so we'd have 24 free inventory spaces. I'd be able to do 3 larders per trip, but unfortunately, we'll have to do 4 builds, or 2 larders and 2 tables each trip. And then after you build this stuff, to get out of the house, I think it's technically more efficient to just do this and leave the house rather than run to the portal, if you care enough about that. And yeah, that's what the whole process is going to look like. We're starting with 71 construction and we're almost to 83 woodcutting, so I'll see you back with the woodcutting level. Now, the thing I find most ironic about construction and Slayer, and this ties into like having the rune pouch here, is that construction helps to train Slayer, which helps to train construction, which helps to train Slayer, which helps to train construction, and so on. Same thing with having a dragon axe, that would help as well. But, you know, it's also really annoying to train Slayer when you don't have that much space to store the items that you get from Slayer. 83 woodcutting. I was thinking about the woodcutting to construction XP ratio, and for each oak log that you chop, you get 37.5 XP, and then each oak plank that you use in construction gives you 60 construction XP. So I guess the ratio of woodcutting XP to construction XP is 37.5 to 60. So like just under 2/3, not including the willow log that you chop each trip. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned this earlier for those of you who haven't kept up with the series. The way we got our construction so high was from doing 99 firemaking. If you solo all the way, you can expect to get about 70 construction from that. And then we eventually got 71 just through building stash units. And yeah, haven't trained since though, so we're pretty much like at the start of the level. Okay, we got a medium clue scroll from the trees, and I think I'll just keep on doing these clues as I get them, as long as I feel like doing them. All right, got medium caskets. All right, the first construction level of this grind, coming in with level 72. I was working on doing the XP rates and keeping track of the XP for this 1 hour, but we got a bird's egg. Maybe we'll get an evil chicken outfit piece from it. Probably not though. I did pause the XP, by the way. Nope. The numbers are in, folks. 1 hour of training construction with this weird Ultimate Ironman method. Let's pause the timers here. So as you can see, we got just under 40k construction XP, just over 24k woodcutting XP, and 900 magic XP per hour. I was trying to pay as much attention as I could. Obviously, I'm not tick perfect or doing it at maximum efficiency, but I think for the average player who's like paying pretty close attention, you can expect 40k construction and 25k woodcutting XP per hour. And after doing some more calculations, I have some more fun figures for you. This means that we can do 30 trips per hour, which is 1 trip every 2 minutes. And it also means that we make and use 660 oak planks per hour. I was streaming earlier and I looked at the XP rates after the stream, which I had just reset right before the stream. And I averaged like 20k construction XP per hour during the stream, which is so bad. But I think as I'm going to be casually doing this, I'll probably average like 30k XP per hour overall is my guess. But yeah, this is what you would get if you were paying attention the whole time. Also, I never ran out of run this whole time. I wasn't struggling with it at all. Maybe if you're tick perfect, it'll slowly go down over time, but it really shouldn't be an issue at all with this method. Well, assuming you have full graceful, that is. I just think it's pretty crazy when you compare the XP per hour of training construction on Ultimate versus a normal account, or even like a regular Ironman or a hardcore. It's so different, and construction, just training construction on Ultimate is so different than any other account. I'd say it's probably the most unique skill out of all of them for training on Ultimate compared to other types of accounts. Some of these methods that you do as an Ultimate are just really weird, and anyone who doesn't play an Ultimate probably would never think to do these types of things. And there is 73 construction. It's getting late now though. Time for bed. Every time I get a seed nest while chopping these oak trees, I've been going around planting the seeds as I get them, and we're actually coming up with a farming level here with 53. I will keep on planting these as they come up, as long as I have patches available. Level 74 construction. I'm not going to be building the dungeon and then building doors in there, because then every time I come in here, I'd have to load another screen going into the dungeon, so I don't think that makes sense. So keep on building the larders and the table. And oak planks always give the same amount of XP per plank, no matter how many planks it takes to make something. It's always 60 XP, so makes no difference. Well, we got a casket. Oh my god, we actually got a drop. And it's useless too. 400k though. I guess I'll drop it over to the main. I have no use for that. We can't store anything with it. Okay, another level, 75 construction. 84 woodcutting, which will be the last woodcutting level before we hit 77 construction. There's no way we'll get 85 by then. Alright, level 76 construction. One more to go, and then we can move on. I've been planting almost every seed I get from farming, except for the acorns. I don't think they're worth the time, but here's another farming level coming in. Level 54. Easy clue. Whenever I have to AFK, I'm still going to barb fishing. I know there hasn't been a level for a couple of videos now. I can't really do one level per video, but I do come here still quite frequently, and yeah, here's 91 fishing. I'll try my best to get as much fishing XP as possible. Well, we only have a couple trips left. There was something I was thinking about though that I just kind of assume that people know about, but I can't assume these things because just because I know something in my head doesn't mean that most non-Ultimate Ironmen know this. But what I wanted to say was that Ultimate Ironman cannot use butlers, so I just thought that'd be very important to note. I'm very, very excited about this. The last table that we have to build to get 77 construction. It's done. I spent about 25 to 30 hours to go from 71 to 77 construction. It feels really good to have this done now. Oh man, I ran the calculations and it looks like we made and used about 10.6 thousand oak planks, and we spent about 2.9 mil GP as well on it, which is a pretty big portion of the cash stack. Now, as I was doing this, I realized that if we get 78 construction, we can build the highest tier of the treasure chest, which will allow us to store not only the easies and mediums, which we can store now, but also the hard, elite, and master rewards as well. But we don't really have enough money to get to 78. I want to use the little bit of remaining money that I have to build the things in the house that we got this level for. Otherwise, all this would have been pointless. But as we start getting to Slayer in a bit, and we do end up having a decent amount of money from training Slayer, then we'll maybe do one more construction level to build this higher tier treasure chest. But for now, we're stuck with the easies and mediums, and I don't even know with these stats if I'll be able to do that many hard clues anyways, much less elites or masters, right? So, next video, we're going to go and gather all the supplies that we need to make a bunch of upgrades in the house, and get a little bit of questing done in preparation for Slayer, and then we'll finally be starting on the route to 69 Slayer for Monkey Madness 2. I am very, very excited for that. I can't wait. That's what everything's been building up to for quite a while now with Barrow's Gloves and all that. But that is where we're wrapping up for today. So thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you again next time.